Good morning. It's morning here in Sweden, but it can be another time for you. But for me, it's morning, and it is. I think it is July 11, 2022, and I want to talk about what happened yesterday. That the on it today is it Tuesday. Monday was it yesterday, and I was on. I have ordered some plants for Jesus Garden and for my garden and Jesus Garden, and I call the garden Jesus Garden because I saw Jesus in heaven, and in heaven he was in the garden, and I have ordered plants, and it took forever to come to my home, and I should have the plants on Friday. It was yesterday, was it Monday? And it never come. He lied, the driver that should give me my plans. He lied and say that he couldn't come into my area, that it was closed. Many of you have this door, it's a security door that you need to have either a key or you placed in a code for to open the door. And as he saw that I live in a rented home, and then they are not so smart, these people that work for the post, for the delivering of package. And I know that because my son, he's working for this company as a forklifter. He's forklifter inside this, and it can have been with him to do that he did something to stop, or else I have not talked to him for 3 years, so maybe he got his dry license for 5 years ago, and so it can happen that he have also been a truck driver for this company, and that didn't want to deliver to my place. But if it was another person, he saw that I live in a home where I rent, and mostly in Sweden it's complex houses we rent a home in, but I assume that this man lived in such home, the complex house, but there is to rent houses also, but not many, but there is, and where I live it's a special house because it's for disabled people, but it was built for those that have asthmatic, that have hard to breathe and hard allergy, was this house built for. So we are only 3 people in this house, and I live on the first floor. I live on the ground, so I can drive with my scooter directly into my home without any doors. It's my door is on the ground where people walking pass by, and that's why I always order home delivering package when I buy something that I can't handle on my own. And so I was waiting for this driver to come with my plants, and he never come. I have written in his telephone that I am home the whole day waiting for you, and you can ring the door, because if you put it outside it will be stolen, as everyone can pass by there, and they take it. They have taken every time they have placed something outside my door. And I think it was very bad when I had my birthday. I didn't get any people to call me or something, but my daughter have sent flowers, and it was chocolate and coffee in a package. But they left it on the outside my door, and someone stole it. So I didn't get it on my birthday, and it was lucky or good. There is no lucky, but my daughter called me in the evening, and she said, "What do you like? This the flower I sent you, and how do you like the chocolate?" She said it was chocolate from Belgium, a little more luxury chocolate than what we have here. And I say, "What have you sent me? Something?" And there is nothing outside. I say, "I was out and drive my scooter, and I come home and there were nothing there." And it was just before I come home, there was a package. Did I read in a message I got from this company that have delivered it. So it was just when I come home, and there was nothing outside my door. So they was very quick to steal it. And so yesterday I called the company about my plants, and I say they lie that they couldn't come in, and then they say that they couldn't call me in my phone. And I say, it's the evidence is what I recording last time, that the devil call in the phone and make me have to cut off my recording, because I was thinking maybe someone is calling me about the plants. So I have to answer the telephone in that time. But it was nothing there, the telephone. And now, today, I understand that was God making this call for me to talk about it today, that my telephone was okay. You heard the telephone ringing in the episode that was cut off, and my telephone is not very new telephone, because it's too expensive for me to buy a new telephone, and the telephone I have is okay. And it was the first telephone that had this technical advance that is in the telephone you buy today. So it's Xperia telephone, and it show up in the display if someone have called and I have not answered it, and it was nothing in my telephone that someone have tried to call me. So that it was only total lie from this driver, and he guessed that I live in that complex house, ordinary complex house. So I have sent a picture of my home to this what I complain to, and then suddenly yesterday I got on my phone that I can go drive and get my plants out from a place that I don't like, a post office that I don't like to go into because it's so tight. So I can't drive in with my scooter, and I have to place it outside and then walk in. And then when I inside, is it so very tight? They have so much products around where they are, and so it's very hard to walk to people there. And with this, even if the media is not talking about it, but it's up in over 40% increase of coronavirus. This is two new variation of corona that start with B. It's two, and it's spreading now very fast in Europe. And yet I don't want to go in there because I can catch corona. And so I had a mask on me yesterday when I walk in there and get my plants. And I'd be surprised when I got my plants, but I had call. I was waiting for 1 hour for the service of this company that should deliver my plants, that I could talk to someone, but I was angry, so I was waiting for 1 hour. And today I can let the telephone laying and hear if they start to talk in the telephone. So it was okay. And then something happened when I talked to that young woman about my problem, that I am disabled, so I always have home deliverance. So that's what I did, and I told her that how much lie it was from the driver that should come with the plants on Friday. And then I told her that it's no idea that she say we can send you a new package. We can send you the package, but we have to reorder it from our main place, she say. And you can get the plants in the week. And I say, it's no idea, because the plants is dead now, because I counted that it was 2 weeks. The plants have been in 2 weeks in the box, and it was closed, the box, and they have not got any air, and they have not got any water. So I said that I have bought air, because there is nothing in the box anymore, because it's rotten and dried away. It's dead now. I say, there is no idea. But then she did, so I got deliverance to this post office. So I drive there, and I was wondering how big this package are. And I come in and got it, and it was so big. And I asked the woman in the post office if I could place the paper in a trash can, and she said, you can come back and give me that container of paper to me. But when I was out thinking, what should I do, for it was so many plants, and when I look in the box, they were okay. They were not dead. They were not rotten. It was strawberry plants, and the strawberries, of course, it was rotten in it, and but everything in the plant was okay, and it was 10 plants, big plants, and I'm wondering how can I take it to my scooter, and it come a man, not Swedish, another man come, and that couldn't speak so much Swedish, but he helped me up with a box, like hanging the box on my scooter on the side of it, and then I could hold my arm on a part of the box, and then I could drive my scooter and still hold the box. So I could drive away and drive home, but half of the way to my home it broke, the box. But it was still, the plants was in the box. It was only what hold it up in the air that have been destroyed, broken. And then it have started to be soft, this box. So I was thinking I maybe can have it at my feet. And it was only a little area where I could hold it. And then I have to drive with my right hand, so I place it on my left side, because there I can still drive and hold the box. So it was very, very hard, and I have very much pain in my left arm, because I have to hold the box, and it was about 4 kilo, 8, if you know kilo, lbs. It's 8 lbs, about that. So it was not heavy, but it was heavy. But I could come home with everything to my home. And then I have already prepared to have water to place them in immediately, because I thought they should look terrible. And I was thinking, there is nothing alive, and I don't like to kill. I eat fish and birds, but I hate to kill flowers, plants. I don't want that. I try to pick flower and plants up if I see some have damaged them, and try to make them come alive again. Even if it's only cut flowers, I place them in water and make them live again until it's time for them to go. And I don't want to have cut flowers from the store either. I don't like that, because I know they live. Plants and flowers live. It's life. And so it was only God. 2 weeks in a dry box without water and not any real air coming into it. And it was still like they have sent it me with only 1 day between the delivering. And so I was very thankful, and I placed them in water to drink, and then I placed them in the evening. I placed them outside on my table in my garden for them to adjust to come back to the life after being in prison for 2 weeks. So it's a spirit here because of what I am going to say. It's how we can see God. In that way we can see God. I saw God yesterday when I picked up the plants, and they were alive, and they were fresh, they were good, and they were okay. And that's how you can see God. But then I will see how much time I have. It's gonna be a long episode, because I want to talk about more about yesterday, that I got these memories that is from Facebook, what I have posted for some years ago, and it was this about what happened when why I took the flight to Salt Lake City in Utah without knowing that I had so many ancestors that was pioneers for the church, and that I am so connected to the Mormon church. And yesterday I got this about evil, evil ancestors also. I have not only good, nice ancestors. I have evil ancestors. I have murderer ancestors. And I understood yesterday that the that's the spirit we have to fight against, work against this that's coming with the DNA. That you 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 have, everyone have this DNA that is evil DNA, is placed into the DNA, into the cord to break the cord to heaven, to make us do bad things, so we can never pull in the cord and come to heaven. And so that I understood yesterday that is implanted to us in our DNA, because it was not my immediately ancestors. It had not my DNA in that way. Their offspring have my DNA, because this man I find out, he was married to one that had my DNA in her, and she married this evil man, and in that way it come evil into my DNA. But that was only one part of my DNA, because I have found out many more evil people in my DNA, and that's, I understand that everyone have this, and that we have to fight against. And in the way that God told me that in Jerusalem 2016, that I should do my DNA. And I didn't know why, because I thought I was only Scandinavian. I didn't have any interesting things in my DNA, I was thinking. But I was wrong, because I have lots of DNA all over the world. And that and it was this, that someone, I have talked about that, but I was wrong, because I was talking about the man that was talking right me, and he said that how can we be related to each other, because I live in Mexico and you live in Sweden. How can we be related? And I was thinking that it was the royal line that have make it, that those royals have been visiting other royals all over the world. And I was saying that to him, and I was wrong, because I didn't know. And if you are not 100% sure what you're talking about, you should say that, assume, I don't know, but maybe is it like this. But you can't tell something like it is a truth. That what is about in religions. That's why I am against religions, because they try to force people to believe in something that, if you question these people very much, that leaders for religions, they don't know. they have no evidence of what they are saying. It's only some talking between people that have coming to get the knowledge that is not true knowledge, but what they talk and place and act like it is true. But there is no evidence what they are saying. It's no evidence. They only read their books and assume the books are total right, and then they preach about it. They talk to people about it like it is true, and that I say it's maybe. I didn't say it was a fact. I say maybe it's the royals, because they were all over the world. I have royals in Portugal, and I have royals ancestors in Spain, and they maybe was in Mexico, but it was not like that. Yesterday I find it out that it was the Mormon church. They forbidden to have many wives, to marry to some more than one wife, and there was men that wanted to have many wives, to have sex with many women and be their boss, be their man, and have 45 wives like that. And when I read it yesterday, so the Mormon church forbidden against this with many wives. And then those men that wanted to have many wives, to be in the bed with, they move away from United States, and they move to Mexico. So that's where it come from, the Mexico. And so the name he have, this man, it sounds like evil, but he is evilly or something like that. And he took all his wife, and I saw at least one that I recognize from my lineage from England, MacDonald, and this is a family name I have very much from England and Ireland and all the parts of UK. And so he was in marriage to he was grafted into my DNA. So it was not why I traveled to. I took the flight to Utah, to Salt Lake City. It was not so much money that I could buy, because the cats, my cat have got kittens, and I could sell the kittens before I bought the flight ticket. And I have this expensive breed of cats, so I got much money. So that was not the problem, but the problem was that I was starting to feel me weak in my body, not okay in my body anymore, like I was before. And it took me 15 hours to fly down to Salt Lake City. I had to take 3 flights to come to Utah. So why did I do it? And it's because it was in April 2017 that I should start to I have flowers on my balcony where I lived before, and I should start to give them more soil and make them more fresh for the summer. And this was in April, and it was time to do it. And when I start to dig down in the soil, I saw it was like metallic things, gold, bronze, gold flakes in the soil, and it was inside the soil of those plants I have inside the balcony, and it was these flakes was on those flowers that was hanging outside the balcony also. So it was everywhere, and I understood, because I understood it was the flakes of those plates that Joseph Smith say they had these plates, but it is gone. But when I was in Salt Lake City, I was to the Pioneer Museum, and I saw those plates, a copy how they look like, and it was the same metallic color, at least, as those flakes that was in my soul. And I understood it was a sign that I should fly to Utah. I understand that, and it's something that is very hard to describe, but it's some of you have had these things that you know, but you not really know, but it's something coming in your brain, and you know this how it is. Because before that, in the night, when I was sleeping before the morning with the plants, in the night I wake up that it was a real, like a tornado, enter into my room, my bedroom, and all my doors. I have doors for the outside, like if we call it in Sweden, French balcony, that you can't walk out on, but you can open up 2 doors and have standing there and look out, and it fly up those doors that was closed, and I wake up and I walk to the doors, and it was very, very hard to close it because it was so very strong wind, and it was really locked. The doors was really locked, but it come up, and then I was not thinking about it so much. But then when I saw these flakes in the soil, I understood that it was something that happened that was not in the nature. It was a spirit thing that was happen in the night. That this, like we seldom. It's rare in Sweden to have tornadoes. That this tornado means something in the spirit way. And then when I saw those flakes, I understood that I have to come to Salt Lake City and to the church office in Salt Lake City and talk to those apostles that is in the church, because it was something that happened before that I was in Copenhagen, and I was in a church, and there he come. Now I don't know the Apostle Anderson. That is his wife was with him also, and she was speaking Danish to us, and he was talking English to us, and he is one of these apostles of the closest to the prophet, one of these, and I sit in the church, and when I come in, it was so full of people there that wanted to see and hear the apostle. So I couldn't. The people I was with from my church, they were standing way back from the altar, but I wanted to hear and see. So I went to the altar, and then I saw I could sit down somewhere there close to the altar, and it was young man there, pioneers maybe, and I asked them if I could sit down there and make a place for me so I could sit, and I was sitting on the second row from the altar, and when it's so funny this what happened, because Anderson say, I have my favorite singer with me. He is from Denmark, and he is going to sing my favorite song. He say to us, and then inside come this man, Danish man, a beautiful man, and he have some papers in his hand, and as he was sitting on the first row, he have no small table, something to lay his paper on. So he turned around to me, because he was sitting just in front of me, and he turned his paper and asked me to hold his paper for him. And so I did. I hold the papers, and then he was singing, and he was in Salt Lake City, and he was in like a musical about Jesus, and he was singing, and he was acting like he was Jesus in this musical, and then after he forget his papers. I have to knock on his back and say, you need your paper back, I say to him. And after that, I I write sometimes when I see his picture being Jesus picture, and I I write every time I see his face in a picture being Jesus. I always write, but of course people don't understand. But I write that I have hold the paper for Jesus. I say because he is the most common picture of the Mormon church, LDS church. He is that one that is dark, young man that you can see. That those picture was taken when he was in this musical playing Jesus in it, and then they took some picture of him, and that's what they have all the time. And it's very fun to say that. I hold the paper for Jesus. I was holding the paper for Jesus. So that make me these apostle things that had happened. And then it come this tornado, and then I see the flakes. And I understood that I have to go and talk to this apostle, because the apostle Anderson, he come to us that was sitting on the first and second row and shake hand with us. So he was shaking hand with me, this apostle. And when he shake the hand, and it was like, it felt like we held our planet in our hand. Between our hands was it like a planet, and it was a sign for me that this was important, that he should understand this about our planet, to rescue this planet. And then he thought it. He thought it was very strange. So he felt the same thing as me. So he walked away a little, but then he turned around, and then he walked to me and shake my hand again. So I understand that he wanted to feel what is going on here. And in that way, I understood that I have to take contact with this apostle. So I wrote him a mail letter, and that I am coming to Salt Lake City. But he say they are travel around the world, these apostles. So he was not in Salt Lake City when I should come. And he say I could talk to another apostle for the church. So I got to talk to Randall Bennett, in his office. I come into his office, and when I come, I told in my mail who I'm going to stay with. So when I come to this, it was really made that I should go there, because it was a woman from Salt Lake City that was in our church, that like sister, that was, she said to me that I am from Salt Lake City, she said, and you can come and visit us in Salt Lake City. You can come to my parents and live in my room when I'm not there, she saying to me. And when she say that, I know now is God is talking to me, that this is an opening, that I can take the flight and then live with her parents and live and sleep in her room and be with the family. So I was in Salt Lake City for 1 month because I should never have could do that if I have stayed at the hotel. But now I didn't need to pay for a hotel. So I could stay 1 month because I knew I had much to do. And I had to do much every day. And when I come to this house where I was staying, and it was this priest home, and the next day when I was staying there, they got a call from the church office, and the church office wanted to meet me. They wanted me to come to the church office. So it was not me that wanted to go there, but I knew that I should go there. But they make me to come to that church office and be like a more privileged VIP, a special person to have as a guest, and they were very surprised in the office, those people that take the calls and sign in people into the church office, that they have to call and check out if it was true that I was a guest to the apostle. They couldn't believe that. It's very hard to meet an apostle in his office, to sit in his office, not to meet him out on the street like that. That is easy to do if you are in that place. But to be called that I should go up to his office and talk to him. So I did, and I have explained it before in the episode. But I wanted to talk about this because I saw the picture of the flakes, and I didn't take with me all the flakes to Salt Lake City. I'm not so stupid, so I took everything I had, and I have a can of these flakes, and I still have in my soul outside in Jesus' garden, because these flakes was in the soil, I bring the soil with me to this new home and place it out in the garden. So sometimes I see those flakes, so they have not disappeared. Maybe Salt Lake City have taken them, put them in trash, but I have some evidence of it in my home still today. That was what I wanted to say, and the last I'm going to say, if the spirit that is here not want to say something more. But I say that I placed the picture of these flakes on this episode so you can see them, how they look like. So it is. It's not so strong spirit that is here. So I wait a little for see if it's want to say something. It's not like to push a button to make them talking. I don't call for them. They come and they show up when they want to do it. I don't have any control in that way. The only control I have over them is I tell them to not wake me up in the night. That they can talk to me in the daytime now when I understand what's going on. That I know that it's my ancestors that want to talk. So they don't need to talk to me in the night. And that is what you that have spirits coming to you, you can also tell them to not wake you up in the night or giving you nightmares. You can take some control and you tell them that this is my home. This is what I tell them before I fall to sleep. I say, this is my home and I am in the control over my home. As the spirit is confirming this now. That's why I felt this spirit be here, because it was this what this spirit was waiting for me to say. That it confirmed that if you say that this place is my place, is my spheric place, this is my private home, and it's not your home. You are a guest in my home, but you are not the owner of my home. So I can tell you that you should not come and wake me up in the night because you want to do it. And you should not give me nightmares because you want to do it. It's not about you. It's about that you are a guest in my home. And a guest can't take over the home. Then you are not a guest anymore. But you are a guest. And I have my home. That this is my home and not yours home. That it's very strong now, because it is saying, this spirit that is here is saying that you should listen at her. This spirit are saying this. You should listen at her, because she teach you how to not see us as evil demons, that what the devil wants you to believe that is demons, that is evil things going on. We can be unpolite. We don't understand that we are in your home, because we don't see a home as from heaven. We only see your spirit, and we want to talk to your spirit. So we don't ignore you, that you are in your home. It's that we don't see it. We don't see this limit. We don't see borders. We don't see limits. We don't see what you have in your body, what you have in your world. the spirit is talking now very much. So she say that it's you have to tell us that we are only guests in your home, and it's you that have the control over your home. And if you don't want us to come and talk to you in the night and give you nightmares, giving you be sick, get headache in the morning, feel uncomfort when you wake up in the morning, you should tell those spirit that is coming into your home, to tell them that you can talk to me when I am awake in the daytime, but don't talk to me in the night when I'm sleeping. I need my sleep, and this is my home, and you are only guest. You don't belong to this home. You are guest. So I have the control over my home. That's what she is saying, that to you, to tell out in the air. You don't need to speak with your voice. You can have that, saying that to them in their mind, because they are talking telepathy, and you can also do telepathy talking to them. So thank you for listening, and God bless you. We learn more and more from them. They are still learning. They are still teaching us, and we are learning. Thank you. God bless you.